Live from KSAT 12, the 6 o'clock news starts right now.
You heard it here. We've been telling you this week we are expecting a strong cold front in San Antonio. It won't be as extreme as last year's freeze, but families should still prepare for a hard freeze.
Yeah, our Alicia Barrera spoke to one woman who says she's nervous about the winter weather, understandably, and hopes ERCOT and CPS Energy are prepared for the Texas-wide cold snap.
We first met Viena Vasquez last year. She had to transport water to her parents who live across the street from her home, while she tried her best to keep her and her family warm on the city's south side.
We didn't have any electricity, not just for a few hours, for a long time. And I have little ones in there.
Meanwhile, she says her friends who don't live too far from her didn't have it as bad.
They never had their electricity turned off. They were fine. We were the ones over here hurting. I try not to be angry about it, but I don't really think Texas is prepared for low temperatures like that.
However, in a statement to KSAT, CPS says they're better prepared after investing millions of dollars in protective measures of critical equipment in the last year, including, quote, implementing winterization initiatives to protect the plants, pipes, and other critical equipment. CPS has also added 155 circuits to rotate in case of state-mandated outages. ERCOT's interim CEO, Brad Jones, assures they've also winterized their systems, saying in part, quote, ERCOT will deploy all the tools available to us to manage the grid effectively during the winter weather, and coordinating with electric generators and transmission and distribution utilities, end quote. As for Vasquez, she says this time she won't trust the rollouts.
If it gets to that point, we're just going to go to a hotel. I mean, that's the only thing I can think of.
And now is a good time to prepare at home for this winter weather, knowing who you're going to communicate with. Is it going to be with your family, with your neighbors, staying alert with emergency notifications, as well as building your emergency kit with stock items. You want to have things like your water, hand sanitizer, some disinfecting wipes. Always a good idea to have those extra batteries, and of course, a first aid kit. And you can also plan on KSAT for all the updates you'll need. Reporting Alicia Barrera, KSAT 12 News.
So Governor Greg Abbott also spoke about the incoming winter weather. Earlier today, he said the state grid is reliable, but also says that power outages are possible. He released a statement saying in part, quote, but know that your local power company is working to make sure that power will be restored quickly, even though there may not be a problem with the Texas power grid itself, end quote. So online right now, we have an article that's going over the things that you can do to winterize your home right now. And that goes along with protecting your pipes, your plants, your pets. You know where to go. KSAT.com.
The search for a suspect continues after a Bexar County deputy stumbled upon a human smuggling operation this morning. The discovery led to a van with 8 undocumented immigrants locked inside. Our Erica Hernandez was at the scene and has the latest on what led to this discovery.
The 8 undocumented immigrants are safe after being discovered this morning in southwest Bexar County. A motorcycle deputy was finishing up a traffic stop off Shepherd Road at 8:45 when a passerby flagged him down and told him it looked like people were being put into a nearby white van.
He spotted it and clocked it doing 45 and a 35. So at that point, he intended to stop it for a traffic violation. That van sped down this way from Shepherd Road.
That pursuit then continued on to Pearsall Road and into this random driveway. Up the driveway, the van stopped and the driver fled the scene. That is when the deputy noticed the 7 men and 1 woman ranging in age from 19 to 27 locked inside the van. They later told deputies that they had been traveling for days and that human smugglers had discarded all their personal belongings and forced them into the van.
It paints a pretty bleak picture for these folks, pretty heartbreaking story, and God knows what was going to happen to them should they continue on that journey.
Deputies were able to provide food and water for the group, and then they were taken downtown to be questioned by federal agents. The search for the suspect, who was wearing a Western shirt and jeans, continued by drone this afternoon. No word yet if that male driver was found. Erica Hernandez, KSAT 12 News.
In other news now, the Bexar County positivity rate is dropping. It's now 32.9%, which is really a lot down from last week when it was 39.4%. Tonight, Metro Health is reporting 4,568 new cases, and that brings the 7-day moving average to 4,185. Metro Health is also reporting that 19 additional people have died from COVID. And as for the hospitalization rate, 1,183 are hospitalized, 292 people are in the ICU, and 138 are on ventilators.
Scientists and health officials around the world keeping their eyes on a descendant of the Omicron variant that has been found in more than 50 different countries. It's called Omicron BA2. It also has the name stealth variant. Our Courtney Friedman explains what we know about it so far.
The original Omicron variant that has swept the globe has now mutated slightly into a subvariant called Omicron BA2, also being nicknamed the stealth variant.
And nicknamed stealth Omicron, which I don't think is a very good nickname. That's related to some PCR tests and how they detect Omicron. But it does not really impact the more important things that we want to know about. Does it have any difference in clinical manifestations, severity? Is it more transmissible? Are there any differences with vaccine protection?
Dr. Jason Bowling is an infectious disease specialist with University Health System and UT Health San Antonio. He says because Omicron BA2 is still new, information hasn't been widely published about whether or not it's more severe than the original Omicron variant. However, Danish scientists reported this week that preliminary information suggests it may be 1.5 times more contagious than the original Omicron variant.
Because this is a subvariant, it's actually very closely related to Omicron. So if there are differences, they're more likely to be slight differences than the bigger differences we've seen between the different variants.
The mutation appears to be much more common in Asia and Europe, so American experts are keeping a close eye on what's happening there with Omicron BA2. Courtney Friedman, KSAT 12 News.
Doctors also don't know for sure yet if someone has already had COVID-19 caused by Omicron can be sickened again by BA2. But if it happens, they're hopeful a prior Omicron infection might actually lessen the severity.
New developments tonight in the long-running debate over what to do about Elysian Courts, part of the city's oldest housing project. The San Antonio Housing Authority is back to square one after the public outcry derailed a public-private partnership. So instead, Saha is asking for input from the community by asking them to reimagine the development.
This is the residents and the community's master plan, not our master plan.
Yeah, much of the debate has been over whether to demolish or upgrade the existing 500 units there now. However, housing advocates say that Saha's new leadership has been listening to their concerns about not wanting to displace residents and keeping the 500 units as public housing, not as a mixed-use development. But advocates say that they still need residents to speak up as well about what they want and what they don't want in the master plan. Now, the virtual kickoff for the Reimagine Alasan started at 6 p.m. on Zoom and Facebook, but people are also invited to a series of open houses over the next 2 weeks, starting tomorrow from 3 to 6 p.m. weekdays and 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Saturdays.
The bloodiest battle in Texas history fought just south of San Antonio, yet few know much about it or exactly where it took place.
Okay, so the Battle of Medina happened in 1813, part of the war for Mexican independence. Archaeologists and historians have long looked for the exact location of the battlefield without much success.
Yeah, but there is hope that might change soon. Our Justin Horn there as a new dig gets underway today.
It's a needle in a haystack, you know.
Brandon Seal, a podcaster who focuses on Texas history, has made it his mission to find the location of the Battle of Medina.
On April 6th, 1813, the first independent state of Texas was declared. And it was declared right in San Antonio. It was declared by a group of Tejano revolutionaries who were fighting as a part of the War of Mexican Independence against Spain.
Fighting alongside Native Americans and Anglos, the Tejanos' excitement of independence came to a tragic and horrific conclusion just months later in the bloodiest battle in Texas history.
Something like 1,000 of the insurgents who were part of the Republican Army of the North, they called themselves, something like 1,000 men from that army died on the field of battle that day.
That day being August 18th, 1813. Stories of the battle and the atrocities committed in the days after have been passed down. But amazingly, historians just aren't sure exactly where it happened.
It recedes a little bit in the memory of our Texas history books because it gets overshadowed by other events, but it's never ever forgotten by the people here in this community in particular where the battle took place.
One of the reasons they're digging where they are today is because it's just a few hundred yards away from this historic site, the Church of Nuestra Senora del Carmen.
The church has a very well and pretty continuously attested history as the location of the burial of the Spanish dead.
So today, metal detectors and shovels were out near La Soya Middle School on Southside ISD land, as veterans from the Veterans Archaeological Recovery Project meticulously searched for evidence and brought a new perspective to the dig.
When it comes to battlefields in particular, no one understands battlefields better than veterans do, so they bring in a level of appreciation that civilians don't necessarily have.
So far, it's only been nails and pop-tops, but the hope is that history will be unearthed. And at the very least, it'll bring attention to the Battle of Medina.
I think we drastically increased the chance of at least narrowing down, where it occurred.
Justin Horn, KSAT 12 News.
All right, a live look outside right now from our south side cam. 68 degrees right now, not too shabby, but hopefully we're not getting too comfortable to these with these temperatures.
Soaking it up while we can.
Yeah. Exactly, guys, because by Thursday morning we'll be well below freezing in many spots. Okay, so today we got up to 72 degrees. It was a great day. We saw plenty of sunshine. There was a bit of mold in the air. Molds are high in today's pollen count. Mountain cedar is low. And tonight's going to be a mild evening. We'll see increasing clouds and temperatures will bottom out right near 55 degrees with patchy fog developing by tomorrow. But the big weather story is a strong cold front which will arrive tomorrow night. It'll set up a possibility for some light icing in the hill country. That's why there's a winter storm watch early Thursday morning for these counties that you see here in blue in the hill country. But really the biggest story for us in San Antonio is going to be the cold and windy conditions. But coming up in the forecast, I'll detail where that all-important freezing line will be and which areas could see some freezing rain around San Antonio. Steve?
Thank you, Sarah. She was innocent but forced to plead guilty. The San Antonio mother's supposed crime, she'd been framed for possessing 2 pounds of methamphetamine. But by the time the courts cleared her of that offense, she died. That's just one of the cases you're going to hear about in a KSAT 1 hour special tonight. Unnecessary evil, the cost of confidential informants. It airs at 9 this evening. Investigative reporter Tim Gerber talks with victim after victim, all allegedly framed by an informant working with the Bexar County Sheriff's Narcotics Unit.
There was no disciplinary action?
I don't believe it was done as a result of these cases, no.
So nobody, because I understand that the lieutenant was transferred out of that unit after this, shortly thereafter.
Totally different reason.
Totally different reason. Okay.
You'll also see how the secrecy that comes with informants can help hide bad police work and corruption, as local and national experts tell Tim Gerber how these problems might be fixed. It's tonight at 9 in A Necessary Evil, a KSAT investigative special.
All right, so coming up, all doctors recommend it, regular breast exam screenings. We're going to show you a local event that's making that easier for all women in the community.
Did you know that some people are still without their sense of smell after recovering from COVID? The remedies going around online and what experts say you should do.
All right, 612, we want you to take a really good look at your screens right now because you're going to get 2 live shots. If you're waiting for anybody that usually takes I-35 home, there is a bit of a delay there. You see there at I-35 in Thousand Oaks. And we also have another shot to show you at I-35 in Widener. You can see traffic there going very, very slowly. We're going to get more information to tell you what happened there exactly. But again, if you're waiting for a loved one who should be taking I-35 right now, they're probably going to be a little bit late. We'll be right back.
We have several stories working for you tonight on the Night Beat at 10 with more winter weather expected. CPS Energy says there is a 24-hour period they are paying special attention to when it comes to the energy grid. We're going to look into that as well as what SAWS says customers need to consider ahead of the cold front that's coming. And a loose dog leads investigators to one man's home. What was found on the property led to that man's arrest. That story and more coming up tonight on the Night Beat at 10.
But for now, losing your sense of smell and taste may seem like a small sacrifice in the grand scheme of things after you get COVID.
Yeah, doctors say not being able to smell is a sign of a greater danger and one you should address.
Our Ursula Perry explains why it's vital to your health and well-being and how to retrain your brain.
It is all over TikTok. Burn an orange, mash it up, add brown sugar, and eat it to get your sense of taste back after COVID. Does it work? Couldn't hurt, according to the experts.
The sense of smell, it's controlled by a nerve that kind of goes, from the underside of the brain to the nose. And so with the infection itself of coming in through those passages, that's why it's affected.
Dr. Monica Verduzco Gutierrez heads up the post-COVID recovery clinic at University Health. She says your smell is connected to your taste, so you lose some of both or worse.
What's bad is when it turns into something gross. So, for you, it may be a taste like nothing, a rubber. For someone else, I've had other patients tell me it tastes like sewage.
Even day-to-day issues like seasoning your food can affect your health.
Be careful what you're adding, because if you have high blood pressure and you're just adding a lot of salt, that's not going to be good for your blood pressure.
Doctors recommend using steroid nasal sprays, but also you can buy smell retraining kits online or do it yourself. Go to your spice rack, grab a few spices, pour some out, smell and look at the label at the same time. It also works with essential oils. You can also try it with some of your favorite foods. I miss bacon, and I love the smell of oranges, burned or not. Ursula Perry, KSAT 12 News.
All right, so now we're going to take it outside and just tell you these little things that we need to prepare for. We keep talking about how cold it's going to get in a few days, and we just want to emphasize that it's not going to be what it was last year. I know there's a lot of PTSD with that, but we want to make sure that everybody's prepared.
Yeah, exactly. This is not going to be as cold as last year, and it's not going to last for as long as last year. Last year, we were below freezing in San Antonio for 4.5 days. Today, this week, maybe up to 24 hours. But here's a couple of things that you do need to plan for. Definitely. Windy and cold weather Thursday and Friday. We're talking temperatures in the 20s and 30s with wind chills in the teens and even single digits in some places. Another thing to plan for is a hard freeze, because we could be below freezing for up to 24 hours straight. Very cold weather on the way. Plan for mainly a cold rain Thursday in San Antonio. Really, the only area for concern when it comes to ice is going to be mainly in the hill country. And if you do live in Bexar County, north of 1604. And I'll show you that in just a bit. But first, the very cold air to our north is going to spill across the state of Texas tomorrow. We'll be looking at the front actually moving through San Antonio in the evening after the sun sets. So we're going to have a fairly normal day tomorrow. High temperature near 70, and it's going to be cloudy all day. And in fact, we could have some showers in the afternoon before that front even arrives. But then that front will be arriving in the evening hours, and it'll bring a cold rain to San Antonio late tomorrow. Meanwhile, take a look at what's going to be happening across North Texas. Mixture of snow, freezing rain, and sleet. North Texas is going to get hit a lot harder than San Antonio and South Central Texas. So again, just for your Wednesday, a fairly normal day, waking up with some patchy fog tomorrow, 70 for the high. That front will move through in the evening, and then we'll have a chance for some cold rain in the late evening hours. The winds will turn to the north after that front moves through too. But as we transition into Wednesday night into Thursday morning, so the overnight hours, still, look at that, just a cold rain in San Antonio. But up in the hill country, we'll be seeing that freezing line working its way across the hill country. That means freezing rain is going to be possible in parts of the hill country overnight Wednesday into Thursday morning. What about the morning commute on Thursday? This is an important part that we're going to be paying very close attention to, because as the colder air moves south, the freezing rain will also move south. And so again, notice north of 1604, there's that chance for some freezing rain, light freezing rain Thursday morning, whereas we'll have a cold rain for the remainder of San Antonio and most of our counties to the south and to the east. Then by Thursday afternoon, precip's going to be out of here, and we'll actually just be dealing with the cold weather. So let's talk about potential ice impacts. As I mentioned, north of 1604, we could have some minor icing impacts on bridges and overpasses. If you live in Kerrville, if you live in Fredericksburg, northern Kendall County, I would actually start to think about the potential for icing of about 1/4 inch or more. That would mean that tree branches would start to sag, and we could have some localized power outages in the extreme northern hill country and also in Austin. But by far the biggest impact in the state of Texas is going to be the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So travel should be avoided at all costs across North Texas on Thursday, because they could have some major impacts from icing. Again, we're really just going to be dealing with the cold in a big way. Temperatures are going to fall well below freezing by Friday morning, and wind chills will be in the teens and perhaps even below zero in the hill country because of wind gusts of up to 35 miles per hour. So some things to remember: freeze preparation, the 4 Ps, bring those pets inside, cover up the plants, check on those without central heating, and insulate exposed pipes, especially if you live in an older home and if you live out in the country. So just think about those things as we deal with that extended freeze, mainly Thursday afternoon through Friday afternoon. But guys, we will see the sunshine by Saturday after a cold start. So again, not lasting as long as last year, and we won't be dealing with ice and snow widespread.
Still, now's the time to get out there and just make those little tweaks to prepare for that.
Absolutely.
All right, thank you.
All right, it is the tale of two teams tonight as the Spurs back in action. And Greg, to maybe borrow a weather term, the Spurs are ending this homestand with a flurry.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. I try not to talk very loud because there's some children in here. They're wearing Warrior jerseys like for Curry and Thompson, and I want to be the guy breaking to them. They're not playing tonight. Matter of fact, a number of Warriors are not playing tonight. When we come back, we'll tell you why they're with a skeleton crew, and Tom Brady makes it official. He is retiring. Coming up. Everybody, and welcome live to the AT&T Center, where tonight the Spurs tip off 3 games in the next 4 nights with the Golden State Warriors in town before they head out on their 8-game rodeo road trip. Now, the Warriors have returned as legitimate NBA championship contenders again, with the return of Klay Thompson last month and missing the last 2 seasons with a knee injury and torn Achilles tendon. The Spurs are in the middle of a rebuilding season after saying goodbye to such stars as DeMar DeRozan and Patty Mills. One of the young guns the Spurs are relying on this year is Devin Vassell, who's eager to meet former UN ambassador and civil rights leader Andrew Young, who's in town tonight to help the Spurs tip off Black History Month.
I'm looking forward to meeting him after the game. He's done a lot for us, and, for him to come out here and even be a fan of basketball and come out here and want to see us is huge. So just kind of being able to talk to him, maybe pick his brain for a couple of minutes, that's going to be huge.
The Warriors will be resting all of their stars tonight after beating the Rockets last night in Houston 122-108. No Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Andre Iguodala, Draymond Green, Andrew Wiggins. That's after Steph Curry broke out of his January slump with a 40-point performance, 21 of those coming in the fourth quarter, which is a new career high for the final period. Klay Thompson has been providing support for Curry. He struggled in January, shooting just 37% from the field, 31% from three-point range. He's heard the criticism, but no one is harder on him than himself.
It's the gift and the curse of the bar that you set. Like, it's part of the nature. You can get all the praise when things are going well, and obviously, there's something to talk about when I don't meet that level. And it's not so much the commentary, because I obviously, when I walk off the court, I'm the first one to judge the way that I play and understand when I don't meet that level, and you try to, deal with the frustration when that, happens, over a consistent period of time. And obviously it's a little new, but it's keeping me kind of dialed in on how to still impact the game, even if shots aren't falling.
And the good news is the Spurs will be at full strength tonight at 7:30. Highlights for you tonight on the Night Beat.
Pro football coverage, powered by Davis Law Firm.
After days of speculation and reporting, the greatest of all time, Tom Brady, has decided to retire from the NFL. The 7-time Super Bowl champion made the announcement on social media today after 22 seasons of professional football that brought him, of course, more rings in an individual franchise. 6 with the New England Patriots, 1 with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who were eliminated in the NFC Divisional Playoffs by the Los Angeles Rams 30-27. He's a 5-time Super Bowl MVP, 3-time NFL MVP, holds records for most touchdown passes of all time with 624 and the most passing yards with 84,250. Incredible. Here's part of his retirement announcement. He said on social media, "There is a physical, mental, and emotional challenge every single day that has allowed me to maximize my highest potential, and I've tried my best, my very best, these past 22 years. There are no shortcuts to success on the field or in life. This is difficult for me to write, but here it goes. I am not going to make that competitive commitment anymore. I have loved my NFL career, and now it's time to focus my time and energy on other things that require my attention." That, of course, would be his family. Good luck to Tom on his next chapter of his life. And by the way, join us tonight on the Night Beat for all the Spurs highlights. We'll take you inside the Spurs' hopefully winning locker room after the game. Live from the AT&T Center, Greg Simmons, KSAT 12 Sports.
Yeah, Greg, you're right. Skeleton crew or not, the Spurs need to win tonight.
And don't make this a trap game. Make sure you play them as if Steph and everybody else was playing, right?
Absolutely. Thanks, Greg.
Thank you. Now, coming up, so many of you had questions after we told you about a program that allows police to text you a citation if you commit a traffic violation. It's called the Trusted Drivers Program. And up next, we're going to talk to the people behind the idea.
Right after the break.
Yeah. Welcome back. All right, so imagine this. You're driving, you accidentally run a red light, and then boom, you get a text. Now, that text is actually a citation from the police department.
Yeah, and that's the gist of the Trusted Drivers Program. It's underway right now in Windcrest. We've done stories on it, but we got a lot of questions. And joining us now to talk about the program, how it works, Val Garcia, who's the president and the founder of the program, and Eric Jimenez, who is the CTO. Val, you're a former police officer. Eric, you're the technology guy. First off, this is a program that residents have to sign up for. They do so online. They volunteer their cell number and driver's license info. How else does this work?
So the Trusted Driver Program is a true partnership between the community, law enforcement, and city leaders. What it really does is minimizes interactions between the police and the motorists when it comes to traffic stops. But here at Trusted Driver, we really focus on a few key features, right? We want to establish trust between officers and the community. We want to make it safer for all involved. So that's the officer and the motorist. And here we believe that mobility really leads to productivity.
Adding to that, another big thing that we see as a huge benefit of those for that are onboarding children that are learning to drive, looking at that as the context of what are my kids doing? How are their driving behaviors out there? This leads to parents having peace of mind, not just for the generational that are just learning to drive, but those that actually have elderly parents, right? We want to know what's going on and we want them to be safe, our families.
So if you have a 16-year-old at home, I'm asking for myself because I do, you can actually sign them up for this program and then you get a text if they did something wrong, correct?
That is correct.
All right, you have my attention, guys.
I guess we buried the lead.
Not only will you be notified if they did something wrong or a warning, but for the first time ever, you can receive positive feedback. So if your son or your daughter is driving in a school zone and they're obeying the school zone speed limit, an officer can actually send them a positive feedback message, which you would get to and be able to see that, hey, thank you for obeying the school zone and keeping our kids safe. And that's never been done before.
You know, one thing that we'd be remiss if we didn't discuss is the fact is there is a lot of trust that's lacking between the community and police. So I think when we're talking to people about this program, they think, why would I voluntarily give all of my information over? What would you say to those people?
Well, the information that we're asking for when you create a profile is information you already give to the Texas DMV and to the police department. They already have that information. It's just your license, your cell phone number, and an email. And that information is already within the police department. The unique feature is that you're voluntarily giving it to it, and it's protected. We are not in the business of selling your information, tracking you, or building any kind of profile that's going to make us any money. That's not what it's about. Not at all.
And to add to that, by design, that was kind of what my role was how to compartmentalize this. So only when it's technically and operationally required would the officers be able to bring that data to their MDT and see it.
Val, you're a former San Antonio police officer. I want to thank you for your service. You came up with this. How would this, if it was in place when you were on the street, how would this have benefited you as an officer?
Well, it improves trust, right? That's what it really does. And I think building that trust between an officer and a motorist is what is high value. And that's exactly what it would do and would have done. And we hope it continues to do.
Another thing, too, is looking at it. One of the things that we see is public safety, right, in general. This is a small concession of information that has the potential of helping everybody that's out there, motorists alike. So think of it this way. When a paramedic shows up to a scene into a car accident, you do have a medical ID app on your phone, but if you're in a wreck, the only thing that the person getting out of the ambulance knows is that you're in a wreck. They have a license plate. By pulling up something that, diabetic, heart condition, cancer patient, things of that nature would help them stabilize anybody that's in these kind of situations. But again, it all goes back to the motorist understanding this is a small concession only available to those that are in the public safety arena.
As far as we know right now, Windcrest is the only place that's really taking part in this program right now. How is that going in Windcrest thus far, since we know that people have already been able to sign up? And have you gotten any responses from other cities who have said, I want in?
Right. We just publicly launched a ride at Windcrest, and we have received very positive feedback. It's really exciting. I do have to thank the city leaders there at Windcrest, City Manager, Mr. Castillo, the Chief of Police, and the City Council. The community there is very tight-knit. They've been extremely supportive. And of course, they do have a lot of questions, and we want to really engage with them. And that's part of Trusted Driver, right, is engaging with the community and that process. We want to build the process and make it the experience that's going to make it safer for all. So we're still collecting preliminary data, but we've had people onboarding, the officers have been trained, and we're excited to really get going. And we hope to have support and gain the Bexar County and other cities that we've already engaged, not only in Texas, but outside of Texas. So we're engaged with multiple cities across the country.
And I like to add to Val's comment. So when we bring this to play, people are like, what is it? How does it work? And once they figure that out, again, a little bit of education and transparency in the process, they figure it out very quickly. And then immediately what we look at is, what is the end goal? And those are positive outcomes, right? Because this situation of being pulled over on the side of the road has high stress, high anxiety. And right now, there's nothing out there that really does this, supporting this process.
All right, Val Garcia and Eric Jimenez with the Trusted Driver Program. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much for having us and the opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. We'll be right back.
It's a tough statistic. About 1 in 8 women will be diagnosed with invasive breast cancer in her lifetime, but early detection can save lives, and that's according to the American Cancer Society.
Yeah, 2 local nonprofits are teaming up and hosting a free breast cancer screening and awareness day to help women who are uninsured and low income. Tiffany Huertas has a look at how this event will help women in our community.
I know that early detection is the key because where it was located, I could not feel it. It wasn't palpable. I didn't have any other signs and symptoms that some have with breast cancer.
Charlotte Davis, the president of the nonprofit Black Nurses Rock San Antonio, says early detection of breast cancer saved her life.
When I got diagnosed, I was looking for that support group. And that's when I ran into the Alamo Breast Cancer Foundation.
For about 20 years, the Alamo Breast Cancer Foundation has been helping people in our community by hosting several mammogram events. And this Saturday at the Antioch Missionary Baptist Church, the Alamo Breast Cancer Foundation and Black Nurses Rock San Antonio are teaming up to host a free mammogram event.
This is the first time this breast cancer screening event is happening on the east side, making it easier for people to access care.
They don't have the accessibility to come to the hospital or come to some of the doctor's office or clinic.
The event was created to help women ages 40 to 64 who are either uninsured or have a low income.
Especially with the Black community, the incidence of breast cancer is higher, and usually it's at a later stage. So it's really important to get those mammograms.
Although you need an appointment to receive the screening this weekend, the Alamo Breast Cancer Foundation says they will not turn anybody away and can help you if you call them. Tiffany Huertas, KSAT 12 News.
I hope everyone enjoyed today.
Yes, because it'll be a while before it's that comfortable again.
Well, at least, we have another day to maybe enjoy it, hopefully.
Yeah, but we have to spend just our time here getting ready for what's going to come, right, with this winter storm watch.
Right, and it's mainly getting ready for the cold in San Antonio. Yeah. That's pretty much the biggest thing to keep in mind. But if you do live in the hill country, there is a winter storm watch in effect for Thursday morning through Thursday afternoon. These counties you see here in this blue color, including Kendall, Kerr, Bandera, Hayes County, Real County, Edwards County, Gillespie County, all under this winter storm watch Thursday from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. for light ice accumulations, and especially on bridges and overpasses. Notice it could be extended south. It may eventually include Bexar County, but at the moment, Bexar County is not in that. And here's the reason why. The big thing to plan for in San Antonio is the windy and cold weather Thursday and Friday. And in fact, we could be below freezing for up to 24 hours straight around the Alamo City. The biggest reason San Antonio is not under that winter storm watch at the moment is because mainly what we're expecting is a cold rain on Thursday, with the exception being northern part of 1604, northern Bexar County, with that light freezing rain possible in the hill country. We'll talk about all of this, but first take a look at temperatures across the nation. 67 in San Antonio and comfortable, but 3 below in Cut Bank. And look at these temperatures in Canada, 36 below at Dawson Airport in Canada. That's that very cold air that is the core of this cold snap that's headed our way. But tomorrow, as Steve was mentioning earlier, most of the day is going to be quiet. We're going to be able to be cloudy and reach 70 degrees with that front moving through, though, in the evening hours, bringing with it a chance for some cold rain in the evening hours. But notice that across Dallas, Fort Worth, and the big area of North Texas is going to be experiencing freezing rain and snow. A lot of schools in the Dallas area are already canceling school for Thursday. But again, here in San Antonio, Wednesday will be fairly quiet, just cloudy with a chance for rain in the afternoon. It's in the overnight hours, Wednesday night into Thursday, that we'll have to start to monitor for freezing rain in the hill country, because it's going to get below freezing in the hill country before San Antonio. Overnight, mostly cold rain in San Antonio, but that freezing rain is possible in the hill country. And then as we head into the morning commute, this is Thursday at 7 a.m., there is a small possibility for light freezing rain in northern parts of Bexar County, north of 1604, Bulverde, Timberwood Park, Leon Springs, the Rim area up to Bernie. It's possible to get some freezing rain, but look at that cold rain for the rest of San Antonio. And then by the afternoon, all the precipitation should be well to our east. So minor icing impacts are the biggest concern in these areas in this light pink color. Minor, meaning bridges and overpasses may get a glaze of ice. It's up near Kerrville, Fredericksburg, northern Kendall County, that we could get more significant ice accumulations. This also includes Austin. They could get about a quarter of an inch of ice accumulation, while Dallas-Fort Worth may get even more. So I-20 up there, I-35 is going to be a mess. Do not travel to North Texas on Thursday. But again, the cold is the biggest story for us, because after the rain ends, we're going to see temperatures dip well below freezing, 20s in San Antonio, teens in the hill country, and wind chills will be absolutely bone chilling. Wind chills in the single digits by Friday morning in San Antonio, even below zero up in Kerrville. Thankfully, many of us will be above freezing by Friday afternoon, but another hard freeze is expected Friday night. Saturday morning will be at 24 degrees. But look at that, Saturday afternoon, 45. Because this system is not going to stick around for all that long, it is not going to be as strong as the one back in 2021. So just something to keep in mind as you prepare for the cold. Prepare for the cold. Freeze precautions, pets, plants, people, and pipes.
All right, Sarah, thank you.
In case you missed it, coming up next.
Good morning. Hope you slept well last night. It is Tuesday, February 1st.
An overnight rollover on the northwest side, sending one person to the hospital. Police say the driver of the vehicle lost control, causing that vehicle to flip over into some trees. The passenger taken to the hospital, but is doing all right now. We're told alcohol was not a factor in this crash. And no word on what sparked a fire at a vacant restaurant overnight just west of downtown. It happened around 11 o'clock on South Brazos Street, not too far from I-10. Firefighters say this restaurant was fully engulfed when they got there.
We are told the person flagged down Bexar County Sheriff's deputies this morning near Shepherd and Pearsall Roads, that's in southwest Bexar County, to report seeing what looked like people being forced into a nearby van. The deputies went after that van, tried to pull it over, but it wasn't until they reached a random property off Pearsall Road that the driver got out of that van and ran.
A total of 7 men and 1 woman were found locked inside of the van. None of them were hurt, but they were very hungry and thirsty. San Antonio police are investigating a man's death after his body was found at a park north of downtown. Here's what we know so far. The man was found around 1 o'clock this afternoon. His body was in a creek at Haida Park. SAPD now calling his death suspicious.
1 hour investigative special called A Necessary Evil. It airs tonight at 9. National and local experts tell our Tim Gerber they're worried it's happening far too often, like these San Antonio residents, 2 of whom spent nearly 3 years in prison after an informant framed them.
Any significant icing Thursday should be limited to the hill country, but we're still going to be well below freezing here in San Antonio. So here's some freeze preparation. Remember to bring in the pets, cover up those plants, check on those without central heating, insulate exposed pipes, especially if you live in an older home or out in the country, because look how cold we're going to be. We're going to be dipping down in the low 20s by Friday morning, and we could potentially be below freezing from Thursday afternoon to Friday afternoon. At least there's sunshine in the weekend forecast and temperatures rebounding into the 40s and 50s.
Yes, looking forward to that.
Yeah, I know some homeless shelters already preparing for the cold weather as well. So we'll have much more on that, of course, coming up on the Night Beat at 10.
We'll see you then.